Hi everyone, today we're going to make stuffed sweet potatoes with balsamic date glaze from this amazing cookbook called How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. And if you've heard of Dr. Greger, he has the website nutritionfacts.org. These are these beautiful sweet potatoes. And Dr. Greger is the best-selling author of the book How Not to Die. And I was fortunate that their marketing team sent me all three of these amazing books. Since that was such a huge success, came out with How Not to Diet. So Dr. Michael Greger, he is a very well-known plant-based physician. He has an amazing YouTube out, and I'll put a link to it, on pandemic prevention, on why raising animals for food is causing all these world crises. So let's get started. Come on over here. I want to show you. Sweet potatoes are one of the healthiest foods on the planet. They are chock full of beta carotene and all kinds of vitamins and minerals. So they are just great by themselves, especially if you slow bake them like I did. So all I did was wrap a sweet potato in foil and bake it at 400 for 60 minutes. And they come out like these little caramelized treats. They're amazing. So I went ahead and did that. And now, once they're done, I'm going to do the last two. You're going to cut them in half and scoop out the insides. And we're going to actually, restuff them. So here we go. You can see how well done they are. Lots of juice. They just basically cook in their own sugar. And then you're going to cut it in half to make boats, basically. See, and it's just super soft. And again, it's great by itself. Just something good to have in your refrigerator. You can heat them back up. Make a batch of them for the week. So we're going to scoop out this luscious sweet potato meat almost to the bottom. Sometimes it's supposed to leave about a fourth, the bottom. But you'll know, but I really recommend at 400 for an hour, because every time I do it that way, they come out pretty perfect like this. I got a little too close to the edge. There, you want to leave some. Okay, and then we'll keep going. I used to work for the Pritikin Longevity Center many years ago. And in the afternoon, we would have yam snacks, yam sweet potato snacks. And this is exactly how they would cook them in foil for an hour and cut them in half, and they would have them out on the cafeteria table for our participants who were at the Pritikin Center because they were having health problems due to their weight. So we were trying to teach them a healthy way to have a sweet snack. So again, and I've been sold ever since. You could just have a big fat yam for dinner. Maybe two. They're so low calorie. Let's see. All right. Last one here. So if it's real tough and hard, then you need to cook it longer, because it should just scoop right out. And it's hard for me just to not eat it on the spot because it's so good and sweet. So obviously potatoes are a great food to be eating right now during quarantine because they're shelf stable. You can keep them in a, get a large bag, keep them in a cool spot, and you should have them for a few months. Okay, one more. So get sweet potatoes, Yukon potatoes. Read up on Dr. McDougall's starch theory, how starches are very, very good for us. There have been studies where people just eat white potatoes for 30 days, even more, and have reduced their cholesterol, lowered their blood pressure, lost weight, and maintained healthy blood sugar. So potatoes are a magical food. Do not be afraid of potatoes. So here we go. So this is 4 large potatoes cut in half. Now, with our bowl of potatoes, we are going to add in some cooked peas. So I already cooked these. These are just frozen green peas. Doing a half a cup, but I did a cup because we actually really like peas. in our house, so that's up to you. If you don't like peas, you don't have to add them at all. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of green onions or scallions, which are also one of my favorite plant-based foods, along with peas and sweet potatoes. So it's just such a simple, clean, healthy recipe. Nothing, yes, simple whole foods. So I hope everybody's staying healthy and happy and positive during the quarantine. It's again a great time to eat as many plant-based foods as possible. Keep your immune system strong. Animal products, dairy, eggs, they all cause a lot of inflammation and can cause phlegm in the lungs. So you want to stay clear of those foods. All right. Again, mashes up great because we cook the potatoes long enough. That's the biggest challenge, I would say. You just want to make sure they get cooked thoroughly. Not just stick them back in. You can test it with a fork. Okay, so we're going to fill these little boats. This is my first time to make this recipe. I'm very grateful that the team sent me these books and gave me permission to use this recipe online with you all. And I actually scrub the potatoes because I love to eat the skin. Of course, you don't have to, but that's something I meant to mention before you wrap it in foil. You can scrub it with a sponge. So I saw a meme on Facebook that said vegetables do not cause pandemics. And I thought that was a great way to sum it up. A lot of these diseases we've had in the past, swine flu, which actually from pigs originated in the United States, swine flu, bird flu, mad cow's disease, Ebola. These are all diseases that have been caused from raising animals and eating animals for food. So hopefully as a society, we are growing away from that with what's going on in the world right now. And we will learn to embrace a whole foods, plant-based diet, healthy diet to help obviously save the animals, improve human health, and to help Mother Earth, who seems to be crying out, basically screaming for our attention. We just had an earthquake here in California a few nights ago on top of everything else that's going on. We didn't feel it down here in San Diego, but Mother Earth is definitely, in my opinion, trying to get our attention, crying out for help. So hopefully we can all do our best to help her. All right, those beauties now are going to go back in the oven. I've left it on at 400. We are going to bake it for 10 to 15 minutes. They'll be nice and warm because they've cooled off, obviously. And then we're going to move on to our date paste, this balsamic date paste. Okay, so you use a half a cup of medjool dates. I've pitted them, I've pulled them apart. Make sure you obviously get the pit out of there. And then I boiled some water and I soaked them in hot water. So there's just 3/4 cup of hot water. Let them sit for about 10 minutes so they're nice and moist. And then we're going to put them in the Vitamixer blender with the water they've been soaking in. And this is how easy this is. 3 ingredients: dates, the date water, and then a half a cup of balsamic vinegar. And since I know a lot of people like Trader Joe's, this is the balsamic vinegar I get from Trader Joe's. And it's very affordable and it's delicious. It's our favorite. Okay. And you may want more or less. The recipe called for half, so I'm going to start with that. All right, let's give this a try here. on long enough and we had enough liquid. That was a really easy blend. As you can tell, sometimes they're not all that easy. So this is going to be, oh, wonderful. So dates are just full of minerals. Also, it's a natural sweetener without adding sugar. So we are going to drizzle this over the potatoes here when we're done. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so we just pulled the sweet potatoes out of the oven and they are hot and fresh and ready to go. We are going to drizzle a little balsamic date syrup here on them to give them a little extra flavor. I guess I have a lot of this. I can do a lot more. I'm using them too sparingly. Here we go. So when you do the first round of baking, you could always do that. You could do that the day before, even if you want to, or just in the morning if you're at the computer, and just get those ready to go. So that if you don't want to do it when you're starving, because it will take too long. And again, you can just bake those potatoes at 400 for 60 minutes and just have them to snack on. You can heat them up, wrap them back up in foil, heat them up on the stove top in some boiling water. That's what I've done before. Okay, especially if you're single, cooking for one, which I know a lot of people do. I did it for years. Okay. Smells delicious. I'm going to add much more here. I was concerned a half a cup of balsamic might be too strong, so we'll see. Adjust it accordingly. If you're not a huge balsamic vinegar fan, you could start with a quarter of a cup. So that looks pretty good. We can always add more. And then optional is to garnish it with some slivered almonds. Or you can omit. Yummy. So we are going to devour these for lunch and have it again tomorrow, which I say a lot. Anything I make, I like to make that lasts 2 days for 2 people, sometimes even a third if I'm lucky. All right. Okay, and then just depends if you want to add a little sprinkled pepper. There's no salt in here, so that's optional. You want to add, doesn't call for any, but if you feel like it needs a little salt. So that is it. From Dr. Greger's How Not to Die cookbook. Show you again. Stuffed sweet potatoes with balsamic date glaze. So thank you so much for joining me. If you liked the video, please click like and subscribe and ring the bell. And as always, thank you for saving animals with your food choices. Your choices truly save lives. Hope you have a great week.